Ladies and gents, I am the one and only DJ Storms. I would like to welcome each and every single one of you back here to the channel on YouTube.com. It is, of course, Saturday, September 4th, 2021. This is the official rundown for AEW All Out 2021, which, of course, is streaming live on pay-per-view tomorrow, September 5th. With the buy-in pre-show starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. It has certainly been a crazy week. It's turned a lot of people's worlds upside down in more ways than one. First off with Hurricane Ida. It has sent the complete east side of the country into a whirlwind, literally. Down in Louisiana, they got about like 15 feet of rain. It is absolutely crazy. People's cars were floating down the street. Absolutely insane. So hopefully everyone down there in Louisiana and everyone up and down the East Coast that was affected by Hurricane Ida is okay. I am thankful enough that I did not lose power and I was not flooded, but unfortunately my original guest did suffer the effects of Hurricane Ida. Maddie Anderson, aka Top Rope Squishy, unfortunately she could not make it because she had foundation issues with her house. And her house was flooded. She was out late last night at Home Depot trying to get some stuff to clear out her house of water. So hopefully that's all cleared up. She actually had to cancel her show today. You guys are seeing this on Saturday. This was recorded Thursday afternoon. Hopefully all that is smoothed over. But do not worry, me and Top Rope Squishy, we will collaborate again. She will be on my channel very soon. I will be on her channel very soon. Hopefully everyone that was affected by Hurricane Ida has been on the up and up as of lately. It was fucking nasty earlier this week. But thankfully that's over. And unfortunately, Maddie could not make it. But my guest today, I have to thank him a whole lot for answering the call on such short notice and for creating that fucking badass thumbnail. I really got to take his advice on how to create thumbnails that well. He is a lifelong wrestling fan. He was my guest on the rundown for SummerSlam. He is a DJ Storms Posse member. And of course, he is the creator of the Hibiki TMD brand that houses shows and podcasts such as the Reset Button, which is making a return very, very soon. The Slam Pigs podcast, Hibiki Quickie, Hibiki High Spots. Please help me welcome none other than Mr. Hibiki TMD. How are you, sir?
Doing good. Thank you for asking me back. Glad to fill in. Hope everything with Top Rope Squishy works out. That sucks. I moved out of Louisiana just in time last year, apparently. And the reset button's been back since January. I don't know if you knew that.
I actually did not know that, to be quite honest, because I am not.
No, we've been rolling. We've been knocking them out, man. It's good to be back with the reset button. But yeah, thank you for having me back. Even though I feel like I just did this, and I feel like I'm honored I'm becoming your go-to guy for these things.
Oh no, absolutely. You're definitely one of my go-to guys. You're a little choppy. Like the video's like starting to go in and out again. All right, now you're good. Now you're good. Okay. So hopefully we do not have any more tech issues. But
this is take two, guys. We'll pull the curtain back. We tried this one.
Take fucking two. It's unfucking believable. I don't know what the fuck's going on with technology nowadays. But anyway, like I said, I definitely owe you for the great thumbnail and for answering the call on such short notice. I greatly appreciate your time. And unfortunately, like I said, this was a crazy week that turned a lot of people's worlds upside down in more ways than one. Aside from Hurricane Ida, unfortunately, we did lose someone in the wrestling world. Shannon Spurl, a.k.a. Daphne Unger, recently passed away Wednesday night. Unfortunately, she did post a Instagram live stream Wednesday evening, and she had suicidal thoughts. It was very, very gut-wrenching. I'm still in absolute shock over the entire situation. I can't even look into the camera directly and speak to you without stumbling over my words. My heart completely dropped into my stomach when I saw that video. It's incredibly sad. It's incredibly heartbreaking. Unfortunately, it was announced on Thursday afternoon that she did indeed take her own life. First off, I want to send all my thoughts, all my prayers, all my condolences to the family, the friends, and everyone that was directly associated with Daphne Unger. She was a mainstay in WCW alongside Christopher Ford, a.k.a. Crowbar, whom I've known for the better part of 6 years now. And she was a part of the early TNA days as well. I want everyone to know that I understand that it's hard to reach out and talk to someone, but if you're dealing with any sort of mental illness, depression, anxiety, whatever it may be, any sort of mental illness, anything that's affecting you mentally and emotionally, even if it's just slight, even if it's just minor, please go reach out to someone, whether it be a family member, a friend, a therapist, whoever it may be. Go out of your way, reach out to someone, tell them about your problems, because there's a lot of people in this world, a lot of people that you have come in contact with throughout your life that need you. There's a lot of people that you've come in contact with throughout your life that love you, that care for you, that would be absolutely heartbroken without you. It may sound cliche, but it's the absolute truth. If you're dealing with something, please go reach out to someone. Reach out to someone that you trust. Reach out to someone that cares about you, and tell them what's going on. Tell them what's going on, because there's a lot of people out there that care for you and love you. Again, thoughts and prayers. All my condolences go out to everyone that was directly associated with Daphne Unger. Hibiki, would you like to say a few words?
My sentiments, exactly. Couldn't have said it better myself. Nailed it. Shame.
It really is a damn shame, and like we've touched upon, we've had our fair share of social media beef and tons of BS. But at the end of it all, like, we don't really know what a simple tweet or an Instagram post, a Facebook post could really do to someone. So hopefully it could be a lesson learned by everyone. And like we touched upon, it's very, very sad, especially since we just went through this with Hannah Kimura last year. Like not even like a year and a half later, Daphne does the same thing.
Rest in peace, Daphne.
It's rough, but rest in peace to her. Before we get started with the festivities here on the rundown, very, very quickly, where can everyone find you on social media?
Instagram, Hibiki TMD, Facebook, Hibiki TMD, Facebook, and as always, YouTube, Hibiki TMD, Retro Gaming, Heavy Metal Podcast, Pro Wrestling, everything nerdy in between. Your official Hibiki TMD merch, unionsmack.bigcartel.com.
Thank you very much. Of course, you can follow me on social media at the DJ_Storms. That is both on Twitter and Instagram. Add me on Facebook as well for collaborations and business inquiries. Please be sure to send me an email. My email is, of course, StormsTakeOver@gmail.com. Like the official DJ Storms business page, and I may just send you an invite to join the official DJ Storms posse group on Facebook, which, of course, Mr. Hibiki TMD is a member of. You can see him posting memes and cringy shit posts, but of course he makes it all worthwhile.
Memes. They're good memes, damn it.
Yeah. They're all right. But
sometimes I bury the shit out of Nia Jax too. So
I mean, like, that's always entertaining. I mean, how can you not find entertainment in burying the utter atrocity that is Nia Jax? But
the worst wrestler in the entire world makes fucking Luther look like Luthez.
Oh my god, that's a great line, actually. You can put that on a t-shirt. But be sure to obviously, like I said, like the official DJ Storms business page. I'll send you an invite to join the official DJ Storms posse group on Facebook. That's only where the elite members of the DJ Storms posse reside, and yes, that was a pun intended. Of course, please make sure you hit that like button if you have not already done so. It is vital. It helps me out. It helps the channel out. Hit the like button, and of course, share out the stream on all platforms of social media, whether it be Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, Snapchat, TikTok, whatever it may be. Please share it out on all platforms of social media. And of course, hit the subscribe button, hit the notifications bell with a huge coup de grace, and you will be notified whenever I pop up on YouTube, because whenever I pop up on YouTube, it's the best time. All right, there we go. YouTube, we are currently back, ladies and gents, and sorry about the technical issues. If you're wondering why all of a sudden his video changed, it's because he was actually having problems from Hurricane Ida. Something's going on with his Wi-Fi, but now he's on his phone. Hopefully we can get through the rest of this without any more technical issues. But we're going to get straight into the All Out preview and predictions. And I gotta be honest. Outside of MJF and Chris Jericho, and maybe Kenny Omega and Christian Cage, none of these matches really have any long-term build. They were kind of just pieced together over the course of the last 2-3 weeks, and that's very, very unlike AEW. And the reason why, for those of you who are unaware, is because Tony Khan had to switch, alter, and modify a lot of the long-term plans because of the most recent additions of Bryan Danielson, who is rumored to make his debut tomorrow, and of course CM Punk, who is wrestling Darby Allin at the show. So, again, it's unlike AEW, but at the end of the day, the show looks good on paper, and I'm not really going to fault Tony Khan too much, because obviously with so many new additions potentially coming into AEW, with obviously CM Punk, Bryan Danielson, pretty soon Adam Cole, potentially a Wyndham Rotunda. Obviously, not all plans that you had set in place prior to these additions are going to follow through going into the next 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 months. So it's understandable. It's definitely understandable. And on top of that, Adam Hangman Page, he was originally supposed to win the World Championship at All Out from Kenny Omega. That is not happening, and it was because of two reasons, mainly because Adam Page, his wife, is currently about to give birth, and on top of that, they wanted to give Adam Hangman Page his own separate moment, and they did not want a debut of Bryan, a debut of Punk to overshadow anything that Adam Hangman Page does with Omega and his eventual championship win. So it's understandable. But Hibiki, what are your thoughts on the overall build of All Out and the way that this card is mapped out?
I mean, I get it. You got to do what you got to do. I think the CM Punk and Darby Allin, that didn't really need a build. The build is Punk is back. You know what I mean? That is what it is. I'm glad things worked out the way they did, because personally, now people might agree, you might disagree. I think I string this Adam Page stuff out a little longer. That's still going to mean more when he finally wins it. I thought All Out was a little too soon. I was surprised. I thought maybe like by the new year, then it's time to do it. Just let Omega have this dominant heel run, so that way it means more when Page finally wins it. Because that's one of the things in pro wrestling, not all the time, but it's very lacking, are long title dominant reigns. You know what I mean?
I mean, Omega's title reign hasn't necessarily been short. It's been almost 300 days. That's not short at all, by any means. Right.
I still think it'll mean more when Adam Page finally does. Then you can bring this Dark Order storyline full circle, let it play out a little bit more, you know? Plus, if Adam Page would have been booked to win the title in the show, he'd have been overshadowed, because no way in hell is CM Punk not closing this pay-per-view. You'd be insane.
No. World title needs to close the show. No, it doesn't matter. World title needs to close the show. It doesn't matter where you put Punk, dude. It doesn't matter where you put Punk. Punk is going to be a mainstay on the show. He's going to be the highlight of the show regardless, because it's in Chicago and it's his first match in 7 years. But the Stadium Stampede was different. Stadium Stampede, that was a blood feud between two factions. That was different. But world title should not be going on second to last. World title needs to close the show. They can get away with it.
I don't know. I don't think you're going to be able to follow Punk on this show. I think the crowd is going to just exhaust themselves for Punk.
There's a few matches.
It's Christian Cage on top of it. I mean,
it doesn't matter, because like the match that they had on Rampage was fantastic.
It was good, but you can't. I don't know. We'll see what they do. I'm
still going with the World Championship, but that's just one portion, and we're going to get to that later on. But let us address the elephant in the room, actually. Pac and Andrade was actually canceled due to travel restrictions, and I kind of feel bad for Pac. It's always him. Like you touched upon, the UK's a fucking mess.
Yeah, exactly. It's a complete mess over there. Shout out to my co-host on Union Smack, my NXT UK podcast. He tells me it's still like extreme lockdown situations. It's just a nightmare over there right now.
But here's what I believe is eventually going to happen as far as that match goes. I do like the fact that they're saving it for a future episode of Rampage. I do like how Tony Khan handles these canceled plans and canceled matches. He does it very, very well. And at the end of it, I do believe that eventually we will see Andrade beat Pac, and then we will see Andrade eventually take that AAA Mega Championship off of Kenny Omega, and then the Lucha Bros are going to join him, and we're going to get this Latino World Order-esque faction. So that's going to be a great thing to see. But I don't mind it being canceled. What do you do with Andrade, actually? Do you have Andrade on the show? And here's what I think is going to happen. Here's what I think is an interesting route to go. There is a rumor going around that a certain American Dragon is going to debut at All Out. So what you can do is you can have Andrade go out there, just kind of be a prick and run down Pac for not showing up and just act like the heel that he is, and then he can issue an open challenge. Daniel Bryan comes out to the final countdown, but you don't have to have a match at all. That could just be a way to introduce him, and Andrade could just walk away and say, no, I ain't fighting on your time, I'm fighting on my time. And that could just be like the stamp that Bryan Danielson makes saying, hey, I'm here in All Elite Wrestling, and that could be a tease towards a future match between the two. Now that's just me. I don't know what you think. How do you think they're going to go about Bryan Danielson's debut if it's reportedly happening tomorrow?
I like the Andrade idea. I think that makes total sense. You know, you're building pieces for maybe a future storyline. I could also, who's the guy with all the UFC guys that comes out and cuts Jim Cornette promos and Lance Archer always beats him up?
That is Dan Lambert, but he's actually currently with Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page, Men of the Year.
Okay, I could see Dan Lambert coming out, cutting a promo, and then just Bryan interrupts and beats the shit out of him and the Men of the Year. I could see him do that. I mean, that's an easy way to do it. It reminds me of like when they debuted Scott Steiner at Survivor Series, and he just came out and attacked Nowinski and Matt Hardy for no reason. You could do it that way. I don't think they're going to shoehorn Bryan in the title picture. I think they're sticking to their guns and rankings. They're going by their rankings, you know. And I think Punk even put out a tweet or something the other day where he said it doesn't make sense for him and Omega to be in a title program right now. I mean, you know,
exactly, and that's what I like about the ranking system. And if you noticed, the 4 teams that were in the World Title Eliminator, they were numbers 1 through 4 ranked in the top 5 rankings, and that's what I love about the rankings. They go based on the rankings, but Miro's a little different, and we'll talk about Miro. But I like what they're doing with Miro. We'll talk about that when we get to Miro and Eddie Kingston. But I definitely like what they're doing as far as the rankings goes. And Bryan Danielson, I don't know what they have him do for his first feud, but I have a feeling that they may put him in a program with MJF. Because, let's be honest here, Bryan doesn't need to win. We already know he's one of the greatest of all time. We already know that he is a bona fide Hall of Famer no matter which company you're talking about. And at the end of it all, Bryan wants to work dates in Japan. With AEW, he can do that, so he's not going to be like a long-winded stay on AEW. He'll be there for probably a few months, and then he'll probably go to Japan to work some dates over there. But at the end of it all, Bryan's really not going to be a mainstay. And we know that mainstays are going to be the people that are going to be in the title picture. CM Punk will probably be in the title picture at some point, but not now. Like, probably by, like, the end of next year, we'll probably see Punk in the title picture. But Bryan, I don't see him in the title picture at all. I think Bryan's just going to be there because he wants to, A, add name value, and B, give back to pro wrestling. So they could very well have Bryan put over MJF on MJF's route to the World Championship.
I could see that, yeah.
It's an interesting scenario. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out. But onto the matches that are actually booked for the card. Buy-in match. It is Jurassic Express. That is Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy teaming up with Orange Cassidy, Chuck Taylor, and Wheeler Yuta versus the Hardy Family Office. That is Matt Hardy, Private Party, Isaiah Cassidy, and Mark Quinn, and the Hybrid 2, Angelico, and Jack Evans. Really nothing of substance to this match. Pretty much just a match that was thrown together last minute because Pac and Andrade was canceled, and the Women's Casino Battle Royale was put on the main show. It'll be fun. It'll be a fun little 10-man tag on the buy-in, and it'll be a nice showcase. All 10 of these guys are very good workers, but at the end of the day, there's really no substance to it. There's really no reason to jump for joy. This was pretty much a reason to just get Orange Cassidy.
It's to get the crowd warmed up and all that stuff.
Yeah, and they're just getting Orange Cassidy and Jurassic Express on the show because they're the 3 biggest stars out of everyone involved in this match.
What two better acts to get the crowd warmed up for a pay-per-view than those two acts?
No, yeah, absolutely. Jurassic Express, I can absolutely see being built up as a top babyface team to win the tag team titles in 2022, possibly off of a heel FTR, and then Orange Cassidy. I can see him as a top contender to take that TNT title from Miro. I actually thought that we were going to get Cassidy versus Miro here at All Out, but they decided to go with Eddie Kingston, which I'm not really complaining, but that's just me. But I do think that it's either going to be Cassidy or Sammy that's in top contention to take that TNT title off of Miro. The Hardy family office just isn't working. They don't have a purpose at all, and they're kind of just there. They're not really doing anything. Matt Hardy needs to be solo. And the tag teams, they need to do their own thing because this Hardy family office just isn't working.
Before our take one of this recording shit the bed earlier, I was in the middle of saying, I've never been a fan of this version of Matt Hardy. Even he did the same character in Ring of Honor, the Big Money Matt. It's just not him. You can tell there's a difference between when it feels organic and when a guy's just playing a part. And Matt Hardy just feels like he's playing a part. I feel like the stable has done no favors for Private Party. It's made them even less relevant, dare I say. And I hate this word, but it's made them kind of like jobbers in a way. You can't take them serious right now. And for one, there's so many goddamn stables to begin with in AEW. Just disband this group. It's not needed, and nobody cares. Nobody cares about this stable.
Again, they just have no purpose, and they've taken more losses than they've actually won matches, to be quite honest. So at the end of it all, the Big Money Matt character, it's not a bad character, but I feel as though that would be a lot better solo. You can have Matt Hardy as a heel solo, because his match with Christian Cage was very good. The storyline that was building there wasn't terrible, but the whole Hardy family office, it just kind of soured on it. It really just kind of soured on it. So at the end of the day, the best route would just be to split this faction up, but there's no reason why Orange Cassidy's team should not come out victorious, and the babyfaces are going to get the win. And they are going to continue on with their momentum going into the fall. But your prediction?
Dare I say Wheeler Yuta gets the pin in this match?
I wouldn't mind that because he's actually coming along. He's definitely coming along very nicely.
Yep.
Main show, we got the 21 Women Casino Battle Royale, where the winner will get an AEW Women's World Title opportunity. We got Nyla Rose, Tay Conte, Diamante, The Bunny, Big Swole, Julia Hart, Red Velvet, Penelope Ford, Emi Sakura, Hikaru Shida, Jade Cargill, Kiera Hogan, Jamie Hayter, Rebel, Anna Jay, Layla Hirsch, Abaddon, just a few names that are going to be involved in the Women's Casino Battle Royale. Let us address one thing. The winner is not going to get a world title shot at the next pay-per-view. With these Casino Battle Royales, the winner always gets the title shot on Dynamite, because it sets
2 weeks, right?
Yeah, I would assume it'll be at Arthur Ashe Stadium. I would assume.
Yeah, you got to put some big matches on that card.
Yeah, so we're probably going to get Britt Baker defending the title there. We're absolutely getting a tag team title match there, and we could very well get Adam Hangman Page's big moment. So those 3 title matches definitely going to be on the show. We could possibly see Adam Cole's debut. We could possibly see Ruby Soho's debut. Some people are saying that Ruby Soho is going to be the Joker card. Let's actually predict that right now. First off, who's going to be the Joker card? I have two people in mind. Go ahead. It's either going to be Ruby Soho or Mercedes Martinez.
Ooh, I didn't even think about Mercedes Martinez. Yeah, that's a good one. Has there ever been a Joker card who was just like, besides Leo Rush, who was like a one-off and like worked for another company? Just to get a name.
No, because all the past Joker cards. Well, Mercedes Martinez was technically a one-off. And then she went to NXT, and we all know how that worked out.
Sure, she regrets that decision.
Yeah.
I think it'll be Ruby Soho. Is Thunder Rosa in this match?
Yes, she is. She is indeed in this match.
I mean, I could see him doing like that one-off. I could see him maybe throwing Camille in there just for a name or something. I think Tay Conte is going to win this match, though. Believe it or not, I think Tay has like such this this base cult follow. I'm a big Tay Conte. There's very few wrestlers who I've seen have improved in the last 2 years more than Tay Conte. To see what she started as in like the Mae Young Classic to now, unbelievable. I don't think she'll win the belt, but I think it's like a Liv Morgan. You know, she has her fan base and people love seeing Liv Morgan. I think the same for Tay Conte. I think that's your winner.
I was going to say the same thing as you, and Tay Conte is she's great. She put on a very good match with Shida back in April. She has improved immensely from the last time that we saw her in NXT. I think that she's absolutely a future women's world champion, but I was going to go with her, but Anna Jay returned this past Wednesday on Dynamite, and I'm going to have to go with Anna Jay. And if you remember, it was back in February where Anna Jay and Britt Baker, they were supposed to face off in the first round of the Women's World Title Eliminator to see who was going to face off against Shida back at Revolution before Anna Jay got injured. So I think that this is going to be a big comeback for Anna Jay. She's not going to win the belt, but I think that they're going to revisit that match. It makes sense, and the history's there. Hey, we never got to have this match. Anna Jay wins the Battle Royal, and now we get Anna Jay and Britt Baker at Arthur Ashe Stadium. Anna Jay gets a big moment, but Britt Baker's ultimately going to get the win before she eventually moves on to Thunder Rosa at Full Gear. So I'm actually going with Anna Jay. Before Anna Jay came in, I was going to say Tay Conte, but now I'm going with Anna Jay.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That's a good pick, too. Solid pick. Who do you think the Joker card is going to be?
I think
it's tough.
I think it could be Ruby Soho. I think it's going to be Ruby Soho.
Yeah. You need a big surprise, at least one surprise on a show like this, and I think it makes a lot of sense.
Well, I mean, if you got Bryan Danielson as well, that's two.
Right.
So that's pretty big. But I think it's going to be a very, very entertaining Battle Royal. The last Battle Royal was booked very, very well with Jungle Boy going over. He got a big moment in Daly's place, a thunderous fucking reaction. I think that Anna Jay is going to get just as equal as a reaction should she win. The people were very, very happy to see her back. So I think that Anna Jay is going to get that win, and she's going to get that match with Britt Baker. But
it'd be ironic, too, since her and Jungle Boy are a couple, and they'd be like the two winners. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's another thing. I didn't think of that. Moving on to a match that really has no place on the card. Paul White versus QT Marshall. Here's the thing. The storyline's not illogical. It's not illogical. It makes sense because QT's a dick. He gave a diamond cutter to Tony Schiavone's son, and then Paul White's coming out in Tony Schiavone's defense. So it's not illogical. It's not illogical. And on top of that, with the Gun Club turning heel this past Wednesday, it got the right reaction.
I liked that, by the way. I enjoyed the Gun Club turning heel.
Yeah, and I actually have a theory as to why they turned heel. It got the right reaction. People were chanting asshole at Billy Gunn, and people were chanting QT sucks. QT got legit heel heat. So it's been booked well, and the storyline hasn't been illogical, but at the end of the day, what does this match mean in terms of long-term storytelling and booking? The one thing with AEW is the fact that every match has a long-term effect, whether it be CM Punk and Darby, whether it be MJF, Jericho, or Young Bucks and the Lucha Bros, Christian Cage and Omega. Every single one of these matches is going to have a long-term effect multiple months and or years down the road from now. But this match, Paul White and QT Marshall, it has no long-term effect. It's not going to do anything for QT because you're not going to push QT over a Jungle Boy, a Darby Allin, an MJF, a Lucha Bros, a Britt Baker. You're not. QT's not going anywhere, and Paul White's already a made man. You know where QT succeeds the most? QT succeeded with Dustin Rhodes in the Natural Nightmares in that tag team. They were a very good tag team. That's where QT should have stayed, because the Factory is just as worthless as the Hardy Family Office. There is absolutely no long-term effect that is going to come out of this match. This is literally a one-and-done thing, and after Paul White wins, They're just going to go right back to doing what they were doing before. Nobody's going to be enhanced.
Yeah, I agree. No reason this match needs to go more than 3 minutes. And I think the reason we've seen all these little nods to the Diamond Cutter, I think Paul White's going to bring some backup. I think it's an excuse to get DDP on the show for a nice nostalgic pop or something.
Probably.
I don't know. I don't care. I could care less about this match, as pretty much probably 95% of people. But like we said, the one good thing to come out of this, it was high time to have the Gun Club turn heel. I can't stand Billy Gunn's sons. They're so naturally unlikable, so that made total sense. And it rejuvenates Billy Gunn in a way. He looked like money last night. He really did. He showed some intensity. I liked it. I did. So,
again, like I said, it's not illogical. It's not illogical. It certainly makes more sense than whatever we see on fucking Monday Night Raw. That's for sure. It makes sense. But at the end of the day, again, no one's going to be enhanced. Now, as far as the Gun Club turning heel, I have a feeling I know why they did that. If you looked at Austin Gunn's bio on Twitter, he said they're undefeated and they still haven't gotten a championship match. So I have a feeling that the Gun Club, they're going to be an interim heel team for when Proud and Powerful inevitably take those titles off of the Young Bucks. Whoever takes the titles off the Young Bucks, they're going to be big baby faces, and they're going to need heels to feud with. That's why the Gun Club turned heel.
We were talking about rankings earlier. Doesn't Colton Gunn have like 23-0 or something? He has like this insane record.
Tag team wins, not singles wins.
Still. No, they have a valid point there, and that's a valid point for a team to turn heel. We earned this, and we're not getting our shot. Fuck you. We're going to take our shot. It made sense. I like it.
If you noticed, you can tell they're like setting up a lot of heel teams to feud with whoever takes the titles off of the Bucks. You got Men of the Year, now that you got Dan Lambert in there with them. You got Men of the Year, you got the Gun Club. You know for a fact, you got the Acclaimed. The Acclaimed are in there. We'll probably
Max Caster just came back last night.
Good. Very, very happy. Yeah. He's fantastic. I fucking love Max Caster.
Oh, you piss babies, huh? You thought you got rid of him, huh? I'm so happy that he didn't get fired or any of that stuff over that. That was ridiculous.
I got a lot to say about the Buddy Andrews situation. I actually had a lot to say about the Buddy Andrews situation. If you missed that, check out the Lightning Flash update in the description. I had a lot of shit to say about that. I was ranting hard on all these fucking pussies. Oh, racially insensitive post. Go fuck yourself. Fuck your racial insensitivity.
No comment.
I don't care who hates me. I speak the truth. If you don't like it, suck my Italian sausage. Anyway.
Well, some cans of worms, I just don't even getting a can opener out for. I just leave the can in the cover.
I swim in worms, man. That didn't sound right, but regardless.
Are you the boogeyman?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm DJ Storms, and I'm coming to get you. Anyway.
I think the QT match, I feel like most pay-per-views like this, with a lot of bangers, there's got to be at least, you might disagree, it's good to have a popcorn match on there. Let the crowd catch their breath. This is the piss break match for me. I'm not going to lie.
This is going to be placed in between two matches that are going to absolutely steal the show. It's going to go no more than 2 minutes, and Paul White's going to get the win, and that's pretty much going to be it. So it'll probably be placed in between probably Satoshi, Kojima, and Jon Moxley, and maybe CM Punk and Darby Allin, and because that those two are going to be excellent matches. Those two are going to be hard-hitting. So you place Paul White and QT Marshall right in between those two, have it go 2 minutes, and then that's pretty much it. And then we move on.
We've spent more time talking about this match than the actual match is going to go, probably.
Pretty much. Should go no longer than 2 minutes. But yeah, we're Paul White across the board here. Yeah. CM Punk. Man, it feels good. Feels good to say that name.
It's really weird.
Feels good that he's on the card, baby. Versus Darby Allin. Darby's the perfect first opponent for CM Punk. And I loved how they had Sting say this past Wednesday, I'm going to fist bump my partner and I'm just going to walk right to the back. You know what that tells me right there? That tells me that they have all the investment and all the trust in the world in Darby Allin to make Punk look great, and Sting's not even going to be by his side. That's what I love about this match. That's what I loved about the build. And Darby Allin, aside from the fact that he could have a great match with a fucking broomstick, his selling is probably the best selling in AEW right now. He knows how to make his opponents look like $1 million. Every move that the guy takes, he acts as if he just got killed by whoever he's facing. And that's something that's going to make Punk even look even better than he would if he would have just faced someone else. But Punk, I'm very, very interested to see how Punk looks after all this time. He delivered a pretty decent GTS to Daniel Garcia. And Darby Allin, we all know how great he is. No matter what happens, Darby Allin, he's a made man. And at the end of it all, he can take a loss. He's not going to be any less over than he already is. Darby Allin right now, he's pretty much a made man in AEW, even before this match. Longest reigning TNT champion thus far. He main evented Dynamite more than anyone else this year. On top of that, he's beaten some of the biggest and the baddest names in the company. Brian Cage, Matt Hardy, Jungle Boy, Cody Rhodes. And he won the first ever coffin match against Ethan Page. So Darby Allin's been on a roll this entire year. He can afford a big loss.
Yeah. He's the 2009 Jeff Hardy of AEW.
Oh my God, the 2000, Jesus, Jeff Hardy in 2009, he was at the top of his fucking game. Even 2008 Jeff Hardy was great.
Yeah. I think everyone's interested to see how Punk's going to look. Tony Khan's not an idiot. I'm sure that Punk has had plenty of ring time to get ready. They're not just going to bring a guy in who's not, Tony Khan's smart enough to not just go off name value, unlike another company. I think this match is going to kick ass. We disagree. I think it is going to close the show. And as much of a purist as I am, as old school as I am, thinking the title should always go in last, there's been some boneheaded decisions over the year, like Jericho and Triple H main eventing that WrestleMania was the wrong call. The crowd was exhausted after Rock and Hogan. I think that's what we'll see here.
I don't think that was necessarily the wrong call. I think it was because of the way that they booked the match and the fact that they placed Rock and Hogan so close to that match. If they would spread it out a bit more, here's what I would do. I would have Moxley and Kojima open the show, and then you could do the Women's Casino Battle Royale. Then you do Paul White and QT Marshall, and then right after that you can do Punk and Darby. And if it's right in the middle, because the middle of the show is where the crowd usually starts to die down a bit, Punk will wake them up. Punk will absolutely wake them up.
There's a lot of matches that could. I think Kingston and Miro could wake them up too. I think that's going to be a hell of a match.
Oh no, absolutely. We'll get to that as well. We'll absolutely get to that as well. But
as far as my pick, absolutely no goddamn reason on earth CM Punk should lose this match.
Well, obviously, yeah. They put Darby in there for a reason. Punk is absolutely going to get the win here. It's going to be interesting to see where Punk goes. I don't know what they have planned for him for Full Gear. They could very well slot him in there against a guy like maybe Christian Cage if they want to do that. They could slot him in against Christian. They could slot him in against someone like, I don't know. Maybe they could slot him in against an Orange Cassidy if they don't have Orange Cassidy facing Miro. It's going to be rather interesting. But
maybe we could see the Dynamite after this pay-per-view. We see Pinnacle attack CM Punk for no reason. Then slowly Punk takes out all the members of Pinnacle. Start with Shawn Spears. Work your way to MJF. Who knows?
Nah, because if that's the case, MJF would have to win. And you don't want to put Punk or MJF in that scenario where both guys, they can't lose. Punk, he said this isn't a part-time deal, which is what he said. That's
yeah,
Punk.
He's here.
Yeah. If he's here full-time, then that's all the reason that you need to build up Punk versus MJF for the World Championship at next year's All Out in Chicago, with Punk winning.
Whatever they do, how crazy is it in 2021, and this is a possibility, that we could potentially see a match between Sting and CM Punk in the near future? They could very well do that match.
If they do that at Full Gear, I would absolutely have no problem with it because Sting has looked fantastic.
Maybe Sting could be like, all right, you beat the student, now you have the teacher, Punk. Something like that.
Their paths are going to cross. Their paths are going to cross at some point.
Gotta happen. Just wrestling is so crazy, man. So crazy.
It is pretty crazy, but this should absolutely be an excellent match. If they want to, it could definitely be one of the best matches of the year if Punk is that good. And Darby, he's put on excellent matches throughout this entire year, so it's going to be a damn good match. Punk wins, no doubt about it.
Yep.
We got Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, taking on Galaxy's greatest alien, Kris Statlander. This is for the AEW Women's World Championship. Again, with the rankings. Surprise, surprise. A challenger that was built up through wins. 15-0. Gonna be pretty much at the top of the rankings. What a shocker. Good job there, Tony Khan.
You mean AEW just doesn't give a fat, lazy Samoan woman a title shot for no? Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
My bad.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Did you know that apparently Nia Jax is the female Stan the Man Hansen?
Don't. The fuck is wrong with people?
They're retards! Everyone's a fucking retard. Everyone's a retard. My God, these fucking social justice warriors that don't even know what their fucking pronouns are with BLM in their fucking bios. It's absolutely pitiful, man. It's pitiful. Pitiful!
I think this, to get back to the match, though, it is pitiful. This is just a notch under the resume of Britt Baker.
I think this could be Britt Baker's best match of her women's title reign thus far.
It could go one of two ways. It could go one of two ways in a Statlander match.
No, because Statlander, ever since Statlander came back, she has been on fucking point with her matches. No, I have not seen one fuck up from Kris Statlander since she came back. And
I hope not, because Kris Statlander, when she was in bar wrestling, was one of my favorite indie wrestlers in the world. She was unbelievable, and I want more of that Kris Statlander. And she's been pretty smooth since she's been back. But
she looks good. She looks good too.
I think it'll be a good match. Damn good match.
Who's she dating? Caleb with a K in Impact? Is that who she's dating? Is that who's tapping her?
You got me. I have no clue.
I think so.
I thought it was ET.
I thought it was OC.
I don't know. I have no clue. I think Statlander pushes her to the limit in this match, and a lot of near falls, obviously, and she just almost gets it, but Baker pulls it out.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This right here, this was a rather curious scenario. I didn't know who they were going to go with. They were either going to go with Rosa or Statlander to face Baker at All Out. I thought that they were going to go with Rosa and pretty much build up Statlander to be the top babyface, but apparently they are absolutely going with Rosa to take that title off of Britt Baker. Yeah. Kris Statlander, really, she doesn't need it now. I feel as though probably give her another year and she would be ready. I see her as a top contender to take that title off of Jade Cargill after Cargill takes that title off of Rosa. Cargill is coming up through the rankings quite nicely. I feel as though right now, since she's still young and she hasn't even been with AEW for a year, I think that we should probably wait until either Double or Nothing next year or All Out next year. That's when Cargill is going to be the AEW Women's World Champion. She's got the look. She is smooth in the ring. She's a little slow at times. Her timing is a little off.
Needs more experience. She'll get it.
Yeah, her timing is just a little off and she's a little slow. But as far as the moves that she performs, she executes her moves just fine. And she's very, very safe to work with as well. She hasn't injured anyone, unlike Stan Hansen. But anyway, or Nia the Man Hansen. She's looking like Mantar out there.
Ugh, yeah.
What the fuck is she wearing? I'm sorry, I don't know. What the fuck is her ring gear? What the fuck is her ring gear, man?
I don't know. She's not needed. You have Dewdrop now. You have a big woman that can actually work her ass off. Nia Jax isn't needed. But that's for another show for another time.
Dewdrop's absolutely getting released within 2 months, especially with the gimmick that they have her portraying now. What the fuck is that theme music?
I heard Vince loves it. I heard Vince is very happy with the Dewdrop stuff.
How many times have we heard that Vince is high on this guy or that guy? We've heard that Vince is high on Andrade, Angel Garza. We've heard he's high on Tony Storm.
I never believed he was high on Andrade for 1 second, because Andrade cannot cut a fucking promo, and that's first and foremost with Vince. You got to be able to talk. I never believed those reports.
But but back to this match, I think this is absolutely going to be the best match of Britt Baker's AEW Women's World Title reign. They just have to make sure that they place it in the correct spot. I wouldn't mind if this match opened the show. Because Britt Baker's fucking hot right now. She's hot.
Yeah.
Statlander, she's on a roll right now. I would have these two open the show, no problem.
Yeah, I can see that.
But
it's crazy she's a heel too with the reaction she gets, not just in Pittsburgh.
Oh no, it don't matter what type of reaction. As long as you don't get go away heat, you're fine. But as far as booking, it all depends on the way that you're portrayed, and she's portrayed very, very well as a heel. You're cutting out there just a little bit. Just try and make sure that your camera's working okay. Like I think you're still fine as far as your voice goes. I can still hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, just make sure your camera's all right. All right, yeah, we're good. We're good right there. But we're Britt Baker across the board right here. We got MJF, Maxwell Jacob Friedman versus Chris Jericho. The final fight, and if MJF wins, Chris Jericho will never wrestle in AEW ever again. This has absolutely had the best long-term build going into this match, or going into the show rather. This has absolutely had the best long-term build. Chris Jericho is very, very good at what he does, and he has done a great job making sure that MJF has looked great throughout his promos and throughout this program ever since last year. This has been going on for a solid year, and it's probably been one of the best things about AEW, period. It's probably been the best thing, besides Kenny Omega, about AEW, period. MJF, he has just been enhanced tenfold week by week ever since he has been in this program with Chris Jericho. And based on the promo that Jericho cut, I wouldn't be surprised if this is Jericho's last stand. With Fozzy reportedly going on tour, and of course you got the fact that his promo was very, very somber, and on top of that, the fact that he's doing commentary a little bit more often, I wouldn't be surprised. I really wouldn't be surprised if this is Chris Jericho's last stand. And being MJF, say, hey, I retired Chris Jericho, that's a big, big fucking accolade that you can live by. Especially considering how much Jericho has accomplished. On top of that, I don't really see Jericho winning this because he's kind of looked a little slow. He's kind of looked a little slow in his past couple of matches. So maybe he's coming around to that point in time where he realizes
he's self-aware.
He's self-aware. It's time to hang it up, and he doesn't want to become like the Undertaker and be bruised and battered with a bad hip. So at the end of the day, I think that Jericho probably knows that it's time. Your camera's currently off right now.
It's off?
Yeah, I can't see you.
Good?
No, it's just a loading screen right now.
Oh, you can hear me though, right?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine. No one can see you though.
All right. Apologies to your viewers. You can't get this beautiful face on your screens. I agree. I think Chris Jericho, he's self-aware. It's fucking rough lately with Jericho. And Jericho was my favorite guy in the Attitude Era, hands down. The Hoovy match made me really sad. It really did. They can't all be winners.
The match that he had with MJF on Dynamite, that was very good, though. That was very good.
I like that match. I think that was well-paced. It told a nice story. The Hoovy match was just all over the fucking place. It was a mess. I don't think this is it.
Communication issues, I think.
I don't think this is it, but I think he goes away for a while. I think he's got one more banger at least in him after this, but I do think he loses the match.
I don't think that he's ever wrestling in AEW again. I think this may be the end because similar to what happened with Cody, and he can't challenge for the world title anymore. I think that this is probably going to be it for Jericho, and Jericho is inevitably going to he's inevitably going to hang it up. And MJF, I don't know where MJF goes, but I can absolutely see MJF possibly in an interim feud with Moxley, because Moxley, he hasn't really been doing anything ever since his loss to the Young Bucks back at Double or Nothing. So if you want to tell that story of MJF getting revenge on Jon Moxley for beating him at All Out last year, you can absolutely tell that story. And you need to keep MJF occupied, because Page, he's inevitably going to win the World Championship from Kenny Omega, and he deserves a long, drawn-out title reign. Page and MJF, that's your world title match for Revolution of next year. So MJF is going to need someone to occupy him for the time being. I think Moxley would probably be a perfect guy to occupy him, because Moxley doesn't need to take the win. So you do MJF and Moxley, and have MJF go over Moxley at Full Gear. That's what I can see happening, and I can see Chris Jericho going on a Fozzy tour after this. But I think this will be a great match, and I think Jericho will get a great moment and a great retirement in Chicago. Chicago's going to do him right.
Yeah, I agree.
But where can you see MJF going? Like, what do they do with MJF for the time being, at least until he's ready to take that title off? I mean, he's ready to take that title now, but Hangman deserves a decent title reign. So what do they do with MJF in the meantime while Hangman does his thing as the world champion after he beats Omega?
There's like you said, there's a million routes you could go. I mean, Jesus, I could see maybe a little feud with Darby Allin. I don't know, man. I think eventually, I think they're going to do right by MJF. I think they're going to build him up. They're not just going to throw a world title on him. He's going to have a TNT title run before he has a world title run.
No. He doesn't need the TNT title. No, you can easily put the world title. They could have put the world title on him last year, and no one would have complained. The guy is absolutely ready for the world title now, no matter what. So at the end of it, it's going to be Page taking that title off of Omega. He's going to hold it until Revolution next year, and in March Revolution, it's going to be MJF and Page. It's going to be the Pinnacle's going to win all the gold. They're going to win all the gold at that show. I'm still calling it.
I think we see just Moxley and Kingston feud with Pinnacle for a little while after this week. I could see that.
It's interesting. Interesting, like what they do with Kingston afterwards, because Kingston, like he's probably getting ready to hang it up soon as well, because he's kind of up there.
Yeah. Seasoned veteran.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of Moxley, we got Satoshi Kojima versus Jon Moxley. A little bit of a disappointment, but I heard that apparently Tanahashi and Will Ospreay have tested positive for COVID, which is why they could not make it, and this was probably the best that they could do. Satoshi Kojima, apparently he is a seasoned veteran in New Japan Pro Wrestling. I've never seen him wrestle, so I'm not just going to completely shit on this, because I want to see what they can produce. I genuinely want to see what they can produce, and I genuinely want to see what they have to offer, or what he has to offer. I know how good Moxley is. Moxley, I don't even know what to say about Moxley. His career has been rejuvenated ever since he came into AEW. His career in AEW has been a home fucking run, bar none. He has had some fucking excellent matches. Excellent storylines. We all know how good Moxley is. Satoshi Kojima, I'm not too familiar with him. Are you?
I'm very familiar with Kojima. He's a really good hand in the ring. Like you, I was a little disappointed too. I mean, Ospreay is doing the best work of his entire fucking career right now. He's killing it.
He's so fucking good. His promo,
the best heel in wrestling. A better heel than MJF right now. Come at me.
No, maybe number 2, but MJF. But the number 1 heel right now is Roman. Let's just get that out of the way. Number 1 heel is Roman, then it's Omega, then it's MJF. But after Omega loses, MJF is sliding into number 2. But Will Ospreay would probably put him in the top 3. Your microphone. You pressed mute on your microphone.
Yeah, I think that no way Kojima's winning this match.
Yeah,
I mean, Moxley's obviously winning this match.
This is just
it's going to be a hell of a match
to enhance the Forbidden Door.
Think about this. 3 years ago, Jon Moxley was on Raw getting insulin shots in his ass in a backstage vignette to where he's at now. Unbelievable. Definitely the right career decision for Mr. Jon Moxley.
He's going to do good. And I do think that he's probably going to be a TNT champion before he retires, because like he's pretty much done. He's pretty much the top dog in AEW. He's one of the faces of the company, so he doesn't need to win a championship as of right now. He's already had his moment in the sun, but I can absolutely see him potentially winning the TNT championship, probably like in the next 2-3 years or so, because the TNT title right now, what'd you say?
You think he'll ever have the belt again, or do you think he's done being the world champion?
It's a possibility. I mean, they could play that up as, he wants to make history and become the first ever 2-time AEW world champion. It's definitely a possibility. I'm not too sure. Maybe he does. Who knows? Because he's still young. He's only like 35, isn't he?
Something like that.
Yeah, if he's only like 35, he's got like 5 years left. It's a possibility. I don't know. I definitely don't know, but I can definitely see him as a TNT champion before he hangs it up.
Think of how good a feud would be between Moxley and CM Punk.
Oh no, that's absolutely happening. It's Punk's opponent at Revolution of next year. It's either going to be Moxley or it's going to be Omega.
Yeah.
I don't know what they do. I don't know what they do, but I don't know. You could possibly do Moxley if Omega wants to take a break, because like after Omega eventually drops that title to Paige, he's probably going to want to take a break.
Be a dad.
He's going to be.
You're talking about Moxley. Are you talking about Omega?
Oh, I'm talking about Omega.
Oh yeah, Omega's got to heal up. He's been working hurt for over a year, for sure.
And the fact that he was holding 4 fucking belts, like that's a testament to how good he really is.
Not my favorite wrestler in the world, but mad respect to Kenny Omega for just working hurt this much, you know.
He's the greatest. He's the greatest wrestler in the fucking world, man. No matter who. Roman may be the top heel, but he's more character than wrestler. Omega's a fucking pro wrestler.
I didn't know we were talking about Walter. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no. Well, Walter, let me tell you something. If you were to tell me that Walter's the best wrestler in the world, I would not even bat an eyelash at you. Especially after that match with Ilya Dragunov. You could not pay me...
It's all subjective, but at the end of the day, we all win because we're getting all these phenomenal matches from all this talent. So
you could not pay me all the money in the world to take a chop from fucking Dragunov, never mind Walter. Dragunov is less than 200 pounds, and a fucking twisting backhand chop from him looked like it would chop my fucking soul out my body.
I feel like one chop from Walter and I automatically get hepatitis A in a second. Bad.
Like one shot from Walter and I'll wake up with an IV in my right arm. Like, what happened? I just have like a handprint on my chest. Just like a red handprint.
Walter's chops are so bad they give you COVID-19. That's how nasty they are.
Can we get Walter to chop Nia Jax? Maybe chop some wrestling ability into her?
Maybe the cure for COVID-19 is in Walter's chops. Like one chop and you're cured. That's the new vaccine. Fuck it.
I've never had it, thankfully, but we'll see what happens there. But Kojima and Moxley. Now, do they put this match on at the beginning of the show? Do they put it on in the middle of the show? Like, how do they format this? Because I don't know if the Chicago crowd is going to react too well to Kojima. They probably know who he is, but they're probably not overly familiar with him.
I don't feel like they're going to react well to Kojima, but I feel like they're going to lose their minds for Moxley, especially now that Wild Thing is his permanent theme. I could totally see this opening up the show. Actually, I think that's the right call. Go ahead, have this open the show. It's going to be a banger. People that don't know Kojima are going to come around real fast when they see him work in this match, and I think this is a great way to get the crowd ready. I really do.
So, Moxley's absolutely winning that match, and we will see probably Moxley and MJF afterwards. I think that'll be a nice interim program to keep MJF occupied before we eventually get MJF winning that world championship and becoming the biggest heel in pro wrestling throughout 2022. I know you still can't get your video up. I apologize for the people watching. Technology, people. Technology says, fuck you, DJ Storms and Hibiki TMD. What are you going to do?
The world just didn't want us to record this today, but God damn it, we're doing it.
The world didn't want us to record it. It's because we're legitimately the two individuals in the IWC that's keeping this shit interesting. Everyone else fucking sucks. Well, a couple people are all right. Grimm's Toy Show
Well, I equate it
sucks.
to the world really wanted Top Rope Squishy today, and they're like, "No, Hibiki's B Squad. Get out of here. We want that lady."
Squish, if you're watching, there you go. The world wanted you. But don't worry, we'll get her on the channel, people. We'll get the little Latina munchkin on the channel. Don't worry. She's small. She's only like 5'3". I'm taller than her, and I'm only 22.
Oh, what?
Miro, God's favorite champ. I fucking love Miro.
Not only God's favorite champion, but my favorite current champion in AEW is Miro. He's fucking killing it.
Dude, I fucking love his promos. I serve my God by day and my hot wife at night. I mean, how can you not love that? How can you not fucking love that? He's on the run of his life.
I'm really glad that he salvaged the terrible shit that they were doing with him and Kip Sabian, the video game stuff. I'm just glad they turned it around for him before it was too late.
Yeah, the only good thing to come out of that Kip Sabian Miro best friends feud was the fact that Miro got his first win on pay-per-view and then the Arcade Anarchy. Outside of that, the entire feud was a waste of time.
Yeah, it really was.
But Miro, he's taking on Eddie Kingston for the TNT Championship. Not really too much build to it, but I will say this. You know what I love about what they're doing with Miro? Normally, you would have people like champions wait around for challengers to come to them. Miro, even though they're not playing up with the rankings, I love how Miro's like, I'm going out of my way to call out other people, and I'm going out of my way to find challengers. He's calling out Brian Pillman. He's calling out Lance Archer. He's calling out Fuego del Sol. He's calling out Lee Johnson. He's calling out Eddie Kingston. He's going out of his way to find challengers. That's how you make not only your talent look strong, but your champions look strong. That's what I love about
he made Big Shotty look like $1 million. I really enjoyed that match with Big Shotty. That was good stuff.
Big Shotty, he's definitely got a bright future, especially with his performance with Malachi Black as well. But absolutely love what they're doing with Miro and Eddie Kingston. Love what they're doing, how they're making Miro just look like $1 million. Just absolutely having him go out there and I'm going to fight anyone and everyone I possibly can. That's how you build up someone like a fucking monster. And whoever beats him for that championship, whoever beats him is going to look like $1 million fucking bucks in the end. I'm very, very curious to see how they match up. And I'm very, very curious to see what Eddie Kingston is able to do with a guy like Miro. Like we've seen Eddie Kingston do a lot of good things with Pac and Moxley and Cody. And we saw that very good street fight with the Bucks, Penta, and Kingston. Kingston can work. Even at his age, he can still work. And I'm very much interested in seeing what he can do with Miro. I do not see Eddie Kingston winning this match. This is nothing more than another match to enhance Miro and get another notch on his belt and having him beat another top guy who's over with the crowd in AEW, and he's going to retain the TNT Championship. I do see Eddie Kingston losing this match via referee stoppage. I think he's going to pass out because that's in Eddie Kingston's character. And Miro, he's going to continue on and do God's fucking work. Who's literally God's work. But here's a question for you. Who are they going to have Miro face in the interim before he eventually gets to Full Gear? Because Full Gear, I have a feeling Full Gear is going to be the date where he inevitably loses that championship. I don't know who, but I have a feeling Full Gear is going to be the date where he loses the championship. But who do you think that they're going to do it? The top two contenders, Orange Cassidy and Sammy Guevara, at least in my eyes. Who do they go with?
God damn it. Put me on the spot. There's a lot of things you could do in between. I think the end game is going to be Sammy Guevara, just for the Fuego del Sol storyline. Play off of that. I mean, it writes itself. In between?
Do you see Orange Cassidy as an interim opponent?
I could. I don't think Orange Cassidy needs a belt, to be completely honest. He's, in a weird way, he's kind of like their Undertaker. Or he's a spectacle.
He should get a belt at some point. He should at least get a TNT title belt.
At some point?
Some point, yeah. He's a great worker, though. He's that good of a worker to a point where he deserves a championship. It's one thing to have a great character, but if you are that good in the ring, he put on the second best match of the night at Revolution in 2020 with Pac. If he could put it, he was in a match with Kenny Omega. He stood toe to toe with Kenny Omega, and he held his own. If he's that good of a worker, you absolutely have to reward him at some point.
Since you put me on the spot, fuck it, Brock Anderson. There you go.
I have a feeling that that would be a very, very interesting match to see. Just Miro's like, Brock, you can't live up to your father's legacy or something like that. He could do some type of snarky comment.
It's so uncanny how much he looks like his dad. It's a little creepy.
He really doesn't look like his father, to be quite honest.
I feel like he does. Like, spitting image, like young Arn Anderson.
Now that you mention it, maybe it's probably the hair. Because, like, he does not have the same, like, top hair as his father. Like, his facial hair is, like, pretty much similar. But he doesn't really have the same head hair as his father.
I think, like, when the Four Horsemen first started in, like, 85, Arn had that hair. So it's really weird to see Brock Anderson. Here comes the pain.
He's not
Brock
bad.
Anderson.
He's not bad in the ring. I think that, given time, I think he could be something. He just needs to, he's a little green, but I think that he could definitely be some. Him, Lee Johnson, they're definitely going to be something. Fuego del Sol, I think, can be something if they build him up a little bit more.
Yeah.
But
we got a tag title cage match next?
Yeah, the tag title cage match is actually next. But we're Miro across the board over here. I'm very much looking forward. Now that you mentioned Brock, I'm very much looking forward to seeing what Miro says to get Brock Anderson's attention, like how he just makes snarky comments at us. I'm very much looking forward to hearing that, because when Miro's on the microphone, Miro's entertaining as fuck on the microphone. He doesn't even need his wife, but he's entertaining as fuck.
You know, there's been a wild card that we kind of talked about him a little bit, but we were talking about where could this guy go after All Out? And where could this go? Malachi Black is just this entity. He's just looming there. You could do so much with right now, and pretty much any kind of program.
They're building him up. I think that the best possible route for Malachi to go is maybe they put him into a feud with Darby afterwards. I can absolutely see Darby and Malachi at Full Gear.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
I was wondering why they didn't do Dustin Rhodes versus Malachi Black at All Out.
I could totally see them doing a thing where Malachi Black takes out Sting, and Sting takes a little break from TV.
That wouldn't be a bad idea. I think that would definitely get Darby Allin's attention.
Like they're sitting in the rafters, and all of a sudden, who's ever attacked Sting in the rafters? Who's a dark enough character to ever dare go in the rafters with Sting? Malachi Black attacks him in the rafters.
That's actually a very, very good idea. Tag title cage match. World Tag Team titles on the line between Young Bucks and the Lucha Bros. And very, very happy that they did this match, actually. And the history that they have, dating back to 2 years ago at All Out. And All In, too. With Rey Fenix and the Young Bucks. Young Bucks Lucha Bros steel cage match. Their last match at All Out was Escalera de la Muerte, where we saw a Canadian Destroyer off the ladder through a table that nearly killed Matt Jackson. Now, I don't know what we're going to see, but you know for a fact that Rey Fenix is going to do some crazy corkscrew tornillo off the cage. Because the guy's a madman. You know it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I think this is definitely going to be match of the night. No matter what happens at the end, this is absolutely going to be match of the night. This is going to be.
I mean, it'll definitely be the spot fest of the night.
I mean, not just a spot fest. We're going to see probably a death fest. Anyway, but it's a little unpredictable, I will say. This is a little unpredictable because Lucha Bros did not stand tall on the Go Home show. We already know that Christian Cage is not winning the World Championship from Kenny, but do we see the Lucha Bros take the tag team titles? Do they go the Lucha Bros taking the tag team titles and then Kenny Omega Kenny Omega loses the AAA Mega Championship to Andrade, and then we get that Latino World Order where they're all champions? Do we see that? Or are the Young Bucks going to retain and then we see Santana Ortiz inevitably take it off of them at Arthur Ashe Stadium? There's multiple routes that they can go.
I think the Bucks are retaining. I think PNP is the end game. for the Bucks. I don't know. I mean, it's a goddamn cage match. I know they made it a point on Dynamite to say that no one can interfere, but every fucking cage match since the beginning of time in pro wrestling has shenanigans. I think the Elite throws something into the ring, like a weapon or something. I think there's shenanigans.
Well,
I think the
Wardlow,
Bucks
they
win.
didn't have any interference.
I still think the Bucks are going to retain with shenanigans.
Well, the Bucks will absolutely retain. I don't think it'll be with shenanigans, though. I think that the Bucks should retain straight up, just to kind of shove it in the face of Tony Khan, and then we get the Proud and Powerful match. Who gets the worst spot? Who gets the worst spot? Like, what's the craziest spot we're going to see in this match?
The craziest spot is going to be whatever the fuck Rey Fenix does to himself, like always.
Pretty accurate. What was I going to say? Where can you see the Lucha Bros going after this? Do they just wait around until we get that Pac Andrade match, and then we inevitably get the Lucha Bros heel turn and goodbye Death Triangle, and Pac goes solo?
I think we're going to get the stable eventually. I don't think we're going to, and I could be wrong, I don't think we're going to get that stable until Adam Page is finally the champion, and then Page feuds with Andrade for the belt. I think Andrade
shouldn't be. Here's what I think could happen. If they go with Sammy taking the TNT title off of Miro, then it's going to be Shawn Spears taking the belt off Sammy. If they go with Orange Cassidy taking the title off of Miro, it's going to be Andrade winning the TNT Championship off of Orange Cassidy. I don't see Andrade losing until next year. I don't think Andrade should be losing at all. They should just continue to build him up. What?
How crazy is it that Andrade has only had one match in AEW so far?
They're making him special, making him feel like an attraction.
Yeah.
He's looks great in a fucking suit. I gotta get me some suits like Andrade.
I'll give Tony Khan credit again. When Tony Khan realizes that something isn't working, they don't draw it out. They don't make it long and drawn. It's just going to work eventually, like Vince does. Vicky Guerrero was a terrible call. Didn't work. I think Chavo was a much better mouthpiece for Andrade. Who knows with Ric Flair now out there now? Free agent Ric Flair, what they're going to do with him.
I don't know. You know what? I think I'm going to change my pick around. I think I'm dead set right now. Orange Cassidy's winning that title off of Miro, and then Cassidy's dropping that title to Andrade. Because it's just a natural storyline with Orange Cassidy being this lazy guy and he's the champion, and Andrade just acting as, I'm like this cocky Mexican playboy. I look like a champion. What the fuck are you? It's just natural pro wrestling 101 right there.
Could you see them doing a storyline too if they do bring in Ric Flair to be with Andrade, where Flair comes in like, "What are you doing with this guy? What are you doing with Chavo Guerrero? He never won anything. I need to be your mentor." They could just like kick Chavo out. If I'm a wrestler,
Chavo's his official consultant. They could have Ric Flair as his manager. So like that could be, you have two of the greatest minds in pro wrestling in your ear. That could help enhance Andrade. And then the Lucha Bros are standing next to him. That's a great fucking stable right there.
I also wouldn't be surprised within a year and a half if your favorite women's wrestler makes her way to AEW.
I was thinking about that. I'm not going to argue with you there. It could very well happen because Charlotte was pinned by Nia Jax this past Monday on Raw, and it was the second time within a month that Charlotte Flair was pinned clean. They don't just do that for no fucking reason. That was those two times that Charlotte was pinned clean. Those were the first two times Charlotte was pinned clean in about 2-3 years. It absolutely has something to do with Ric Flair. Absolutely has something.
Unless this is like some long drawn out storyline plan with Charlotte, but then again, it's WWE, so we all know they're not thinking for more than 2 weeks ahead of time.
They don't. You hear what happened this past Monday? Vince ripped up the fucking script.
Oh yeah. It's a mess over there.
It is a.
I would rather, as my day job, be a garbage man that has to wake up at 2 a.m. to have the nastiest, dirty tampons, puke-filled, shitty diapers than to be a creative team writer at WWE for one day. Fuck that.
So you don't want to write promos for Nikki ASH? Is what you're telling me?
You would be correct.
If only I could see your fucking facial reactions right now. Anyway.
You could picture it, I'm sure.
World Championship match. Christian Cage, Kenny Omega. AEW World Championship. The match that should main event. Watching you. The match on Rampage was fantastic. This match was placed together simply because of the fact that Page, he was supposed to get his big moment, but he was going to have a kid with his wife, and on top of that, CM Punk. So you don't want to have those people, those things get overshadowed. Christian Cage and Kenny Omega. They had a great match the first time. I expect the same thing this time. I expect this one to go longer than 16 minutes. It'll probably go around like 20, 22 minutes. And at the end of it, I do see Kenny Omega retaining. This is nothing but an interim opponent to help enhance Kenny Omega and draw out his championship reign a little more. And at the end of it all, we will inevitably see Omega lose the championship to Adam Hangman Page. Here's a question for you. Is this better than their match on Rampage?
Oh, absolutely. Now you're talking pay-per-view. You know? And
well, that was a pay-per-view worthy match, though, on Rampage. That was pay-per-view worthy.
Oh, I totally agree. But I think they're going to go above and beyond with this match.
Christian
You have
Cage...
You have two of the greatest wrestling minds in this match creatively to come up with stuff. I think it's money, it's can't miss, and I think we see a better match.
Christian Cage looks great for 47.
I hope I look that good at 37, which I am 37. I don't look nearly that good.
I gotta find me the gym that he goes to. I'm 22, and I'm really nothing. Like I'm very I got a little muscle right there, but I don't really have too much. I need to find what Christian Cage has taken. But he's looked great. He's absolutely looked great. I have a feeling that they're probably going to turn him heel at some point, and we could possibly see a feud between him and Jungle Boy if things do work out correctly. I don't know what happens with Christian after this. Maybe he just does his thing with Impact, because like he's the Impact World Heavyweight Champion. Maybe he focuses solely on Impact for the time being, and then once he loses that championship, then he'll go right back to AEW and do his thing in AEW. I don't know. It's a...
Or do we see Adam Cole finally cost Christian this match, and then you go with that little program? Adam Cole joins the Elite, Christian and Adam Cole?
I don't think so. I think Adam Cole is going to be recruited by Adam Hangman Page to help fight the Elite, and then Adam Hangman Page, he is inevitably going to win the championship, and then after MJF wins the championship, we're going to get Adam Page versus Adam Cole.
I like that idea a lot.
In an undercard match, and then Adam Cole's going to work his way up to the World Championship. I think So
you're telling me we'd actually have a character called the Elite Hunter who comes off as cool? I'm down, because anything's better than fucking Frankie Kazarian right now in that role.
Well, he's actually getting over with the crowd, though.
Yeah, it's Frankie Kazarian.
Here's what I can see happening. Adam Cole, he's going to be the front runner to take the World Championship if CM Punk beats MJF. Punk and Cole.
I like that. Do you think we see Cole this Sunday, though, at all?
We what?
Do you think we see Adam Cole at all this Sunday, or you think they wait for Dynamite after this Sunday?
It's either going to be at Arthur Ashe or it's going to be at Full Gear.
Okay.
I don't see Adam Cole, because if you got Punk on the show, and then you got Ruby Soho as the Joker card, then you got Bryan Danielson reportedly coming.
It's too much.
Yeah, too much. But we're Kenny Omega across the board right here. What does Christian Cage do? Does he just go forth and do his thing with Impact for the time being, and then he comes back?
I think so. I think they, if anything, Impact needs a buzz more than any other promotion right now, and I think Christian is more than capable of having that buzz for the company, but I don't know. We've seen it. I mean, Omega didn't really move needles for Impact, appearing on there, and I doubt Christian will.
He moved needles for Impact with the pay-per-view buys.
For like a week.
In front of no one. Well, here's the thing. One thing you need to remember is the fact that when you see so much of a guy, especially on like 2 shows, obviously the appeal is going to wear off. He looks great. he looks great and he's booked like a beast, but the appeal is inevitably going to wear off.
Yeah.
That's something you need to remember. But we're Kenny
I
Omega.
think Christian holds the Impact title through at least the first of the year. I think he has a nice little dominant run with the Impact title, to be honest.
He'll probably lose it at Hard to Kill in January. To whom I don't know. Who's the correct guy to do it? That's something you need to. Matt Cardona?
God, an Impact? I haven't watched Impact in ages. My initial thought would be like Moose. Jesus.
Maybe Buddy Andrews is apparently going to Impact. Maybe we see Christian Cage and Buddy Andrews. And maybe Buddy Andrews wins the Impact World Championship, and that would be good for him.
It would be good for him, but would it be good for Impact? Because at the end of the day, you just put your world title on fucking Buddy Murphy. So I don't know.
I mean,
Who knows?
Have you seen the fucking... Dude, the guy put on 3 back-to-back-to-back excellent matches with Roman, Bryan, and Ali throughout August of 2019. Are you really going to discredit him after that?
That's all well and fine if you're a cruiserweight on the card or you're an intercontinental guy, but you're talking about the face of a company. You got to be able to do everything. You got to be an Omega. You got to be a Roman Reigns. You got to be able to handle that fucking role.
Did you
the
see
best
his work
you can
on 205 Live? He was pretty much the Kenny Omega of 205 Live.
I didn't see a lot of good mic work from him.
He's fine on the microphone. What are you talking about? He's a great heel if they want to go that route.
Maybe. You know what I would do is I would ask him to change his look a little bit. That's just me. I think he looks like a carbon copy of Creator Wrestler. Looks like Malachi Black. It's just that look. He just blends in and doesn't stand out to me. He's a tremendous wrestler. Don't get me wrong.
He's fucking ripped. I mean, how much more do you need to change?
I just mean not his body, but like his look, like his face, his facial hair, his hair. I don't know. I would change some things with him. Maybe a whole new coat of paint. Paint a coat.
Paint a coat. There's a new t-shirt for you. But anyway, that wraps up this edition of the Rundown. We had some technical issues. We can't see fucking Hibiki. Hopefully, Ida never happens again. And hopefully we won't have any more fucking technical issues whenever we do a rundown, a Discord rundown from here on out. One last time, where can we catch you on social media?
Instagram, Hibiki TMD, Facebook, Hibiki TMD, and Hibiki TMD on YouTube. Get your official Hibiki TMD merch, unionsmack.bigcartel.com. Thank you again, man, for having me. Glad to fill in last minute.
Hey, not a problem, man. I greatly appreciate you filling in last minute. Again, people, I apologize about the technical issues. Please go check out all the links in the description. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'm DJ Storms. He's Hibiki TMD. Nia Jax is fucking terrible. And this has been The Rundown.